So friends, welcome back to Little Lab at Home with the Museum of Life and Science. I'm Peregrine, and we have Catalyst volunteer Caroline here with us today. As always, we hope you will help lead our program with your thoughts and questions and ideas in the moderated chat box. So today we are talking about something that I think you're using right now. If you can hear what I'm saying, we're using sound today. And we were just saying there's some kind of there's a thunderstorm going on in Durham today. So if you are if you are watching where I am broadcasting from, you may be hearing it as well. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear it through my computer, but I can definitely hear it outside the window. We're talking about sound today. So I'm wondering if you all know anything about sound. What do you know about sound? What do you think? Is it something that is it something that you see? Is it something that you feel? Do we know what it's made out of? If it's made out of anything? What do you think? So sound is something that we hear for sure. We need to be able to hear sound. Ooh, we're thinking about sound being in the air. For sure, sound is something that can travel through the air.
Definitely.
Also something that can travel through liquids and solids too. What on earth is it? Is it made of something? Is it made of matter? It's this weird idea, right? Sound is one way that energy is expressed. So there's energy all around us. Sometimes it is expressed as light. Sometimes it is expressed as heat. Sometimes it's expressed as vibrations in the air, and those vibrations are what create sound. So when we were saying that we hear sound, sound is also sometimes something that we feel. I know that I can feel myself talking. I can feel my vocal folds moving and vibrating as I'm talking because I'm putting my hand on the front of my throat here. I'm feeling those vibrations. That's creating the sound.
Definitely. And I don't know about you, Peregrine, but I'm feeling the thunder when it's happening. The house is moving sometimes when it gets really close.
I'm feeling the occasional shake of the window panes. Yeah, for sure. So sound is when there are vibrations, and those vibrations move, and it travels through the air. So all of the little teeny tiny things that are inside of the air, right, or make up the air, all of the atoms and molecules, right, they get knocked around by this wave of energy, this vibration, and that is how the sound continues to travel. And when it vibrates through certain mediums, right, certain things, or it vibrates, makes something else start to vibrate, that's where we can hear it. But we're going to look at some sounds today. We're not just going to hear them, we're not just going to feel them, we're also going to be able to see some sounds today. Now, when I'm just talking to you like this, you can't really see the vibrations that are coming up through my vocal folds and out of my mouth and into the microphone of my computer. You can't really see them because it's just the molecules of the air bumping into each other. But we're going to send the vibrations of some sound through something else. So with our experiment today, we need a couple of materials. I was wondering, Caroline, if you could tell us what materials we're going to need to see sound here for our experiment.
Definitely. Well, to see sound, we need a few things. And the most important of which would be that you need a bowl and some saran wrap to wrap around it. Tape could be great if it doesn't stick at all, or just to extra stick it. And then you need something really small like salt to sit along the top of your saran wrap. And then you need stuff to make tons of noise like pans or any sort of spoons, pots, anything along those lines.
I've got a big blue bucket.
Perfect. And feel free to tell us in the chat, friends, what you have if you're following along. But we definitely need the wrap, the salt, and some sort of bowl.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. And I will say, my cling wrap was not very clingy. It didn't like to sit on the surface of my bowl, which is why I did end up needing a little bit of tape. But it works pretty well there. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to experiment cam, and I think we should get started with our experiment. I'm excited about this one. So I'm gonna switch to my experiment cam. Perfect. Our first step for this experiment is one that I've already done. I went ahead and I took some plastic wrap and I stretched it across the top of my bowl. Right, and I did need a little bit of tape on mine because mine was not super clingy, but I think yours is probably not as old as mine is, so you might be able to just stretch it over and secure it along the edge like that. We want it to be nice and tight over the top, kind of like a drum. You can even kind of hear mine like a drum.
Definitely.
Once you've stretched out your plastic wrap, we're calling this our membrane, right? We're going to put something on top of it so we can see when the membrane vibrates, right? This is something that you may even be able to kind of almost feel if you put your mouth really close to it and talk. It's a little hard to show on camera, but if I say, hello, hello, I can kind of feel some buzzing almost in the bowl and almost in the wrap. We're not going to be able to see it very well without something to help us. So I'm going to take a little bit of salt here, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top. You might not need any more than this. I'm going to put a little bit extra just so the camera picks it up a little bit better. Now, this kind of drum, this membrane that we've created here, is kind of like what our ears use to hear. We have a part of inside of our ear called an eardrum, which has a similar kind of thin surface that vibrates when other vibrations hit it. And that's what helps us hear things. Well, we're not just going to hear sounds today. We're going to make some sounds and we're going to see some sounds, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my spoon. I have a metal spoon. You might have a plastic spoon, or I even have a spoon with some silicone on it. So we might see how this one goes, and we're going to experiment with some different things. And I'm going to take something I'm going to hit it with something. So I've got a plastic measuring cup here. And I'm going to make this into a bit of a drum, right? I'm going to be hitting it with my spoon. That's going to be my sound. I want to see if I can make my sound affect these grains of salt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my, my cup near it. It's not touching it, right? It's pretty near it, but it's not quite touching it. And I'm going to hit it like it's a drum. And I want you to see what you observe the salt doing or not doing. Let's see, ready? Zoom should pick up at least the first one, but then it might be silent after that. Let's see, ready, go. What do you think, Caroline? Did you observe anything?
Oh, I definitely observed something. The screen was very much not at all still. I don't know what everyone else saw. Ooh, we have a wonderful answer in the chat. Someone said that it jumped. I would agree. The salt kind of bounced off for a second. And you did hear all of the tapping because it was spread out.
Oh, perfect. Well, let me do another one here. Ready? So when the vibrations of the energy of me hitting this cup traveled through the air, it made my plastic wrap vibrate, which caused the salt to jump. So I want to try something else because I want to see if it works with everything, right? Is it any sound? Like if I was going to try and clap my hands near it, but I thought that might just cause some wind, but I want to give it a try. What do you guys think? If I clap my hands near here, do you think it will cause the salt to move? I haven't tried this one. I experimented at home a little bit, but I actually didn't do a hand clap. We have one person saying that maybe it will. Yeah, maybe it will jump. All right, let's see. Ready?
Ooh.
What do you think? I think I saw a little bit on the edges. Let me try it again. Ready? What do you think? I think maybe it was a tiny bit. The other thing is that when I move in front of the camera, sometimes it has trouble focusing. So let's try something else. I saw a little bit of movement around the edges, but I'm going to try hitting something else. Like if I take my silicone spoon and I hit it against my cup, do you think that it will cause these to vibrate, to jump? What do you think, Caroline?
Ooh, I think it will, but maybe not as much as the really hard. I think you used a metal spoon before.
I did, yes. All right. Okay, ready? I'm going to do it like that. I don't know about you. It sounds like we have some other friends in the chat who were thinking that, yes, it will make the salt jump. And I did see some salt move. So even though the sound was not really, it might not have been as loud and it had a different pitch, right? It maybe wasn't as high or low as the other one. It still had enough vibration, enough energy to make my salt move. Well, I'm going to try a few other ones here. I'm going to try, I have this cup here, and I'm going to take my metal spoon again. All right, Caroline, jump or no jump?
Ooh, jump.
All right, let's try it out.
Ooh,
That was a pretty good one. All right, ready?
that was really good.
So that did a pretty good job. What if I hit it on the side? I'm just experimenting here. And if you're doing your experiment at home, I'd love to hear about maybe the different things that you are using, or if any of your tests are creating different results. I'm going to try hitting the side of it now.
Oh, we had a guess that it would not jump.
I saw it jump a little bit. I don't think it jumped as much as when I did this.
Great.
Ooh. That even kind of created, maybe I created a little bit of wind that hit those. Well, let's try a different one.
We have a wonderful comment in the chat. Someone's using a drum.
Ooh, I'd love to hear how your drum is working. I've got a big bucket, a big blue bucket, and I'm gonna hold it close and I'm gonna hit it. What do you think? Do you think this one will make the salt jump?
What do you think, friends? We got a yes. And I would also say yes. Someone said it'll make a splash.
Oh, or maybe they're saying that their drum is making a massive splash. It's making just a lot of movement. Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna give this a try and we're gonna see. I think what happened is I hit the bowl. Let me try that again. I'm gonna make sure it won't hit the bowl.
Wow.
That was a big jump. All right, wait. So here's the bucket, ready? And I'm gonna compare that to the cup. Which one do you think made a bigger jump? I'll show you again. Here's the cup.
Which one do you think, friends?
What do you think? Cup, bucket. I think you're right, my friend. I think the bucket made it jump a lot. That was amazing. I was surprised. I thought, you know, it's kind of a low sound. It was a pretty big sound, but it was a lower sound. I'm going to try hitting something metal. I think this may be one of my last ones, but I'm going to try hitting something metal with a metal spoon, which should make a fairly high-pitched sound, right? We're going to see which one makes the salt jump higher, a high sound or a low sound. Ready? I'm gonna try one more. That was pretty good. Okay, friends, I'm gonna try a low sound now. Do you think it will make it jump more or less?
Mhm.
You have some friends saying that they're using some spoons and their spoons aren't affecting it very much. Interesting. And we have some different hypotheses in the chat. Some are saying it will bounce, the salt will bounce more with the bucket. Some are saying less. I'm going to do one more just so we remember, right? Here's the scoop. Here's the bucket. What do you think?
I don't know about everyone else. I would love to hear what friends have to say in the chat, but it looked pretty definitive on my side that, yep, the bucket seemed to do more.
Oh, I think so too.
Definitely.
Oh, we have a friend who's talking close to it. Yeah, this is a little hard to do with our camera. I'm going to see if I can give that a try. All right, so here's my mouth, and I'm trying not to blow too much air on it, but I do kind of hear it moving the salt a little bit. I don't know, can you see that at all?
The tiniest bit. I think one bit was because you were blowing just a tiny bit, but aside from that, not much.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think my breath was blowing a little bit. I could hear it right close to my ears. I could hear kind of a little tiny shake. So maybe that's one that you'll have to do for yourself at home because it's a little hard to see through the camera. But we've experimented with a couple different kinds of sounds. We think that part of it is the volume, right? How loud or soft it is. Because if I do this softly, right, I don't see as much as if I hit it loudly. So part of it is the volume, how loud or soft, and part of it is the pitch, because they move differently with a high pitch versus a low pitch. Whoa.
That was a big one.
That was a big one. Well, friends, there's so many different sounds that we can test out on here. I know that when I was first experimenting this, I ran all over my house and was looking for different things to hit just to see if I could create some vibration, some resonance. I hope that you all will continue experimenting at home. I hope that you fare well during this exciting storm that's happening outside. And I hope that we might see you next week for Lab at Home, where we're going to be exploring how our lungs work, how breathing works. Thanks so much for making some noise with us today. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you all so much. See you later, friends.